All right, we're going live now. My body language buddies, welcome again to another live. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and we're going to talk today about Harry the American Prince. How about it? Let me see some of your comments. Meanwhile, if this is your first live on the Body Language Guy channel, my lives are like a scrapbook, a notepad to juggle ideas, to talk about what's going on with the British royal family, and in this case, Harry. Harry, why is he doing all these stunts that try to fit in American culture, or why in one way or another? Why is he doing that? What are his intentions behind it? That's what we are going to be talking. That is the general topic of today. The lives usually have a general topic, focused on that topic in the first half of the live, and then I don't know where could the live take us. Maybe I will juggle another ideas, have some annotations here, like we're going to talk about identity, belonging to tribes, and how that affects when you have to integrate yourself to another tribe or a different tribe that is not yours. That's going to be very helpful for people that are going into new jobs or new neighborhoods, or people that are traveling to a different country, or people that have to live in a different country or start a new life in a different country. We're going to talk about tips that can help you for that. And of course, we are going to use Harry as maybe as a bad example so far of what you shouldn't do. But let's see how does it go? Hey, a lot of people here. How many are we? 500. Remember to hit like. You know that the YouTube algorithm is the absolute master here. It decides who really watches the live. Is if we can get more people here, it's just the only thing that you need to do is hit like, and of course comment with the chat, or leave a comment in the video. If you want to support my channel, it's always welcome your super stickers and your super chats. And if you want to donate through PayPal, there's a PayPal link in the description. And thank you very much in advance. We got from Germany and Oklahoma. Thanks, Texas. I think Harry was in Texas indeed, but we still don't know what was about that hat. Hello from Nebraska, Ireland, Estonia, Florida, North Carolina. Yes, I think he was a bit. I think Harry is confused as to what country or continent he's in. He seems to think he's Crocodile Dundee. Yeah, but he's a far cry from Crocodile Dundee. He's got a lot to work on to be Paul Hogan. Paul Hogan is the name. I don't remember, and maybe I'm messing up with the name. It's a really good movie, really old movie too, but I really don't remember the name of the actor. Is that Paul Hogan? Yes, I think it was, and the actress of that movie was Linda Kozlowski. Hi from Cape Town, South Africa, from UK, Pennsylvania, Prince Edward Island. Hello, Megan Small. Wisconsin, Venezuela, my home country, El Paso. It's great having all you here. Stunt cellist from Connecticut. Hi, how are you? Glad to have you here, friend. Zurich, Switzerland, Rotterdam, Poland. Don't blame us Aussies, it's not one of our hats. Yes, Paul Hogan. Yes, that's the name of the actor of that movie, Crocodile Dundee. I think it was two movies. It was a sequel to it. I really don't remember. I should give it another go. Well, we're going to talk about this initiative, or what is the strategy? What are the intentions? In this channel, we talk about body language and human behavior. And why do we talk about human behavior? Because we want to be able to predict in some way what are people going to do in some situations, or have an explanation of why people act in a certain way, make sense of people's behavior. We know that people's behavior can be a hit or a miss. Maybe we usually act based on emotions. We act based on our emotions, and we justify our actions with our reasoning. That's how humans work. But even if everything is about emotions, we have to make an educated guess of why do people do what they do. And the British royal family is a great example, and in this case Harry is a great example, because we are seeing a pattern that he's trying to fit in American culture. I made a couple of videos, and the first one was in his spontaneous and candid appearance at the Super Bowl with Eugenie. They were both at the Super Bowl, and of course, you're gonna get more American than that. He was not that impressed in those photos that were leaked. Even holding the trophy, he didn't seem that impressed with being there, with that experience, and that is something that we should take into account. His facial expression. He's trying to fit in American culture, but we haven't seen him really glad to be there, to try to join the culture that's his in. And if you're visiting a new tribe, or you trying to integrate yourself to another tribe, you have to make what your best effort to try to look for all the things around you that make you happy in some way. I know it sometimes could be hard, and I say that from experience, that if you have to move to another country, okay, and absolutely leave your home country, and literally in my case, I have you can imagine that talking about body language of local politicians made me into a lot of trouble back in Venezuela. And let's say that it's a bad idea for me to come back, and I cannot, for the time being, I cannot come back, and it can be hard to adapt yourself to a new situation in another country, or in a new job, or a new neighborhood, or a new university, a new circumstance. That's hard to adapt. But the first thing that you have to look for is what makes me smile here. I know that sounds cheesy. That sounds far too cheesy, but it works. Why I am glad to be here? What are the pros of being here? What are the cons of being here, and how can I adapt to them? That's important, because our body language is always going to be the reflection of our emotions, okay? And it's impossible that we cannot adapt to a new place unless we really try hard to say, hey, well, this is going to be my new home. It could be country, a new job, etc. So I might as well find how can I feel good in here, okay? The human mind, the human body is incredibly good at adapting as long as you want to adapt. Okay? It will be really, really hard sometimes when you are leaving, for example, your country. I'm talking about how do you say that? Immigrant. I had to leave my country. If you have the word, please help me with that. The people that leave their country is an immigrant, right? I don't know how to say that. Well, it would be really hard to not compare your new home country to your original, or your home country, your original home country, or where you were born. Okay, it's always going to happen. An expat, yeah, that's the word, expat. Thank you, or refugee. There are many words. Every one of them are very, very precise in meaning and semantics. Let's say expat. It will be very hard not compare where you are now to where you were before, and this doesn't even have to be geographical. It might be a change in your life. Maybe you change. The people that is around you change, and you miss the people that you had around before. Maybe friends. Maybe you're changing location and you cannot go with the same people that you went to the pub or went to grab some coffee before, and you have to find new friends. That is always stressing. That is always anxiety-inducing, but it's something that you have to work on it. Why do I think that Harry is not glad with this? Because his facial expressions are not of a man that is excited or amused, or he is eager to learn and to soak in all this new culture. I don't know about you. I would like to know what to homesick. Yes, this is homesickness. This is the word. Thanks, lemon cake. They call it homesick. Yeah, like you're missing your home country. You're missing your prior life. Okay. And this is going to show in your face, and people around you in your new circumstances are going to notice that. But maybe they're going to interpret that the wrong way. They're going to misinterpret that. Maybe they think that you don't like them, or you don't like being there. Maybe you like being there, but you miss so much your prior state. Let's see, your state of life, your life 6 months ago or 1 year ago, or your prior life, that you cannot allow yourself to enjoy your current life, in your current job, country, whatever it is. And that's going to show in your face. And that is going to really impact your relationship with the people in this situation, that they're going to say, they're going to be confused. I don't know if I can get closer to this person. I don't know if I'd like to be a friend of this person or start a conversation with this person with this expression of constant being. I don't know. You can say, I think one of the best example is this one, the one with the hat. Is that face of, I don't know how to say that. It's like a deep boredom, or being frustrated, or not being happy. I understand this is just a picture. This is just a picture. We sometimes it's risky to judge a person for just a picture, but it's important to realize that we haven't seen Harry truly happy in a while, and the only moment that we have seen happy is on those paparazzi pictures at the restaurant. I shared the video after I made my video on Harry and Meghan at that restaurant at the beach. They were laughing, and every photo of Meghan she was laughing broadly, okay, smiling broadly. How convenient. I shared in my Twitter the original video of that footage, and it's blatantly evident that the paparazzi was someone that was there on purpose, because they had all the time in the world to focus from all angles. It was a pure effort to make Harry look truly happy. But even so, it was too hard to spot his true reactions. And what's more, we have this video, and the video, I know that you've seen that. I'm gonna put it here for this. I'm trying to be able to be a bit more technical with my lives. I don't know yet how to use many of these tools, and I want to go little by little. But you absolutely remember his appearance at the NAACP Awards, and this was his face. There was no expression in his brows. There was his pressed lips. You know that he was not amused, was not impressed, was really uncomfortable, was really uncomfortable at that moment. This is the kind of things that makes you wonder, why does he keep appearing this way? Does he feel like he doesn't belong to America? Does he feel like he doesn't belong receiving that award? And I'm sure that there was a huge, I have faith in Harry. I still have faith in Harry. And I'm sure there was a huge this dissonance in that at that moment, receiving an award for what? That is the exact question that we have to make. Why was he receiving that award? This is important. Maybe, all right, the award was more focused on Megan. Let's play it that way. All right, I can buy that. So I think Harry felt like a fish out of water there, and that's what he was projecting with his face. What am I doing here? That's the word. What am I doing here? And it's a face that we have made in many times when you move to a new place for the first time, or you try to switch places, or a new situation. Any new situation that is that you have to navigate as a person, you might have wondered in the first 15 minutes, what am I doing here? Because you want to escape. And if you're an introvert, it's much more difficult for you to adapt to new circumstances. I know, because I am an introvert, and I've had to develop a lot of tools to be able to manage my social energy in these situations. And in the first 15 minutes, I always say, what am I doing here? Why didn't I stay at home and planning videos or playing video games or whatever? What am I doing here? And that's absolutely normal. That anxiety, that subtle burst of anxiety on new situations are absolutely normal. This is important to know, because you might think that there's something wrong with you. Hey, I should be glad of being here. I should be glad of new opportunities. I should be glad of exploring new options, new events. That should be something that when there's a new event, you should be glad of having that opportunity to explore it. But sometimes it's so overwhelming, new people, new circumstances. In Harry's case, absolutely no family around. That is important. Believe it or not, even for Harry, that maybe he turned his back on his family, maybe he doesn't know, maybe is not aware, but he needs that. You always need that circle of trust around you to support you. That is really really important for that. And he doesn't that circle of trust, of family. I wouldn't be surprised that William is not taking his calls, or maybe if William is taking his calls would not be as warm as they could be. I think there's a lot of empathy in William, and I'm sure William could understand to some point what is Harry going through. And that is very difficult, and that's when your brother made fun of the whole family and called them basically racist in front of millions, it's very hard to deal with that kind of betrayal, so to speak. But even so, I think William is taking some of his calls, but the how they talk is never gonna be the same way. And I've noticed that lately there's been a lot of speculation about Harry's relationship with his father, Prince Charles. This is also important, and this can go both ways. I'm going to explain what does this mean. I think this could be relevant or absolutely normal that Harry feels so homesick that he needs any kind of anchor to his previous life because he misses it so much. He just realized, maybe he has just realized that he misses a lot from his prior life. Maybe when he says that UK it will always be my home, when he renews the lease on Frogmore Cottage, he is still thinking that he someday is going to go back because he's feeling that he doesn't belong wherever it is that is not in the UK. And let's think for a bit. Let's make an empathy exercise. I know that it's hard. Maybe you don't like Harry. You don't like people that do what Harry did. I understand that. But sometimes you have to deconstruct or just pick the pieces apart of a personality and understand that some behaviors could be actually normal or something that we can learn from them. So if even Harry that made that absolute blunt raw decision not only of leaving but also putting his family reputation on the line, that is really you have to at least take the part of the person, in this case Harry, that could be longing for his family, because there will be always a long for one's family, especially if you at some point you felt supported by them, if you think that they were part of your circles, your real circle of trust. I understand that there could be circumstances where your family could be even a hindrance. You could be you could have born into a family of narcissists, or a narcissistic family, or one of your parents was a narcissist, the other was an enabler, you had a brother or sister that was a golden child, and you were the scapegoat. That is the worst possible scenario for you, and maybe you don't understand how people in general would miss their family because you have never felt that. That could happen to anyone. Maybe you're listening to me and you feel identified with this, and you don't understand why Harry would have this longing, because you don't have reasons. You have reasons to just ghost your family. That is absolutely valid, and sometimes is something that to be encouraged for your mental health. It depends on your gut. What does your gut say? Well, how you see other families working, and your family doesn't work like that. But in this case, I think we can give a sliver of chance to Harry and think that that homesickness is making him try to establish some kind of relationship or mend that relationship with his father. And I think so far, I think Charles has been trying to do that. And at some point, of course, it's absolutely normal that Charles might feel a bit guilty of everything that happened to Harry, not only the tragedy of Diana when her life ended, but everything that happened before. I think that's not easy for a father, for any father to deal with that. So Charles must be trying to look for a way to mend that breakup. I don't know how to say that. To build that bridge again. Harry might be trying to do it, but there's the question. That's when we wake up to this reality. Harry is trying desperately to adapt, to enter, to be part of American culture. And why is that? Is that for public relations? Is that for some kind of commercial initiative? Is that for personal reasons? I don't think that it's for personal reasons, that he wants to do that because he likes American culture, because he doesn't look happy at all or engaged in that culture. He looks absolutely like a fish out of water, first and foremost. He doesn't look like he belongs there. He doesn't look like he's happy to be there, and you can feel that in his face. Again, this is always a good exercise to do. Try to separate the pieces of a personality, of a persona, of a person, and try to identify the parts of that behavior that you can understand, some that you can understand and some that you cannot understand. That is useful, in fact, when you have a narcissistic family, or a narcissistic family. You might blame the enabling parent of not standing for you to defend you from the narcissistic parents. You could blame them, but you can also have this slight bit of empathy to understand their position. I know it's hard. I know that it's not easy. And I'm not saying that you're going to move with them again or keep in touch with them if you don't want to. That is not necessary. But at least you need to do a serious introspection and try to make sense of that. Okay? Because if you did a decision on your gut, based on your gut, that's great. But you need reassurance of why did you do that decision, and nobody can give you that answer except for you. Yes, you can look for therapy, you can look for people that help you, but ultimately the one that is going to make the work of making sense of the dysfunctionality or the toxicity around you is you. It's like a gym. It's like going to a gym. You can sign up for a gym membership and go to the gym, and nobody's gonna lift the weights for you. Nobody's gonna do the Zumba for you. You have to do it. Okay? So even if you go to a therapist, if you go to someone to help you, you are the one who has to do the work. It's great when one goes to live in another country or moves neighborhood or sets out to start a new life of any way, or ends a narcissistic relationship that is very hard in itself and can be very damaging depending on the time that you spend on that. But besides cutting that bridge, cutting that relationship, you have to make sense of what happened in your life. You cannot leave it like that. And this is very important. It's like you might think, in the case of a narcissist or a toxic people or any kind of manipulator in any kind of relationship, it could be a professional relationship too. Maybe you started a company or an enterprise with someone and it didn't go well and you lost all trust in them. I'm not saying that you have to hang out with them, or hey, they're part of my circle of friends, so I have to hang out with them. I have to be with them even if I don't like you. I don't like them. I think it's relative, because the most important person in your life is always going to be you, nobody else. You are the most important person in your life. Remember when you were traveling by plane and the stewardess tells you, makes all this drill of the emergency drill, explains what you have to do in case of emergency. And if you're traveling with a child or someone that would need assistance, you have to put on your mask yourself and then put the mask in the child or the person that might need your assistance. This is very important, because if you do it in reverse, if you feel that I have to think of others, I have to be selfless, you have to be selfless. You should be selfless, but not before paying yourself first, taking care of yourself first. This is very important. All of this is absolutely related to Harry's situation. Maybe he was so... The way he talked on that Oprah interview, that tells me that he was absolutely, I don't know what is the word, help me with this word, infatuated, I don't know, like madly in love, like he lost it completely for Meghan, and he lost perspective in a way that people have said that Meghan, I don't know, like cast a spell on him or something, but it just happened. It's something that can happen to anyone. I don't know if you have stumbled upon this news about this new Netflix documentary about the Tinder swindler. Have you heard about the Tinder swindler? Tinder swindler or swindler? How do you say that? Swindler or swindler? I don't know. Well, it's a man that was a con man that used Tinder to obsessed. That this is a great word. Yeah, Harry was obsessed with the with Megan. Or I think he's still obsessed in some way. Well, this Tinder con man used yeah, this is the name, but how do you say it? Swindler, swine or swin? I don't know. Well, this man love bombs women to make them believe that he is all right, swindler. Got it right. Thank you, Jasmine. Yes, this man manipulated women to thinking that he was like some jet set or son of a diamond king, or I don't know, something that it was really outrageous, but in a way that made these women open credit cards and taking loans from him for hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was really bad financial decisions, and I saw a lot of comments, especially on Twitter, about how foolish were these women. How could they fall so bad for this? Well, in defense of these women, it's not like he was just having pictures of private jets. It's like he actually invited these women into flights on private jets. How did he do that? It's easy. It's like a continuous Ponzi scheme in which the money that he got from woman A, he used that money to pay for all this stuff to impress woman B, and with the money that he got from woman B, he kept from on woman C, and etc. That's why that his manipulation, and this can happen. This is deceptively easy to happen. There's nothing to be ashamed of on falling on these patterns, because these are people that are really good, absolutely experienced at exploiting your weaknesses. Okay, exploiting your weaknesses so you fall for it. And I've said at first, let's say 1 year ago, I said, well, this was Megan that exploited Harry's weaknesses. You know, the Harry's needs, emotional needs, that's something that you can exploit. When you identify people's emotional needs, when those people are broken or hurt, they want to try to connect with someone that can listen to them. And if that someone is not a good person, and if that someone is a manipulative person, they could use that information to lure them in some kind of scheme. Okay, it can be a financial scheme, it can be a relationship scheme, all sort of things. But it can happen, especially when people feel weak, feel not only feel weak. There's another word for that. There's a synonym for that. Let me see if I can remember that. But it can happen. It has happened to me. It has happened to many women that have written emails. I'm sorry if I cannot answer all your emails, but I love when you write, yes, this is the word, thank you, vulnerable. And broken too. Vulnerable, broken. Yes, this could be too. Gullible. I don't know how to say that, but vulnerable is a great word. When these people feel especially vulnerable, you can use that to connect better with them. If you're a good person, you do it so that you can find ways to make them feel better. That's the idea. That's what you should do. But too often we stumble upon people that just used our shortcomings, our vulnerabilities against us. There's a very good movie from Christopher Nolan. That's the first movie from Christopher Nolan that I saw. That is Memento. And the protagonist has this problem with has short-term amnesia, and he's always trying to look for people to help him locate the murder of his wife. But the people that he finds to help him, supposedly help him, usually end up just using him just because his vulnerability. And it's a great analogy of how this works in real life. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's really, really easy to fall in a pattern. Then you fall for someone, that someone betrays you, manipulates you, and when you get out, if you manage to get out of that relationship, you will feel like you will a fool. How foolish I am. You will think less of yourself. You will think that you are foolish, that you're weak, that how could you fall for that? And that would make you feel vulnerable for another person to do the exact same as the prior one. And that's why it happens a lot, both women and men. My channel, my audience is mostly women. That's why I usually do my examples with women. And so many women go from toxic relationship to toxic relationship, and it's repeating the pattern over and over again, over and over again. I cannot offer you therapy now as is, but there's one thing that if you feel that you're going into relationship from toxic relationship to toxic relationship, and you're like in a vicious circle, and you don't know, you think that there's something wrong with you, I can guarantee you there's nothing wrong with you. I'm absolutely sure about that. Most probably 99.99% of the time there's nothing wrong with you, but you have to try to make good memory. Use your memory. This is what you're gonna do. You're trying to recall and try to really think about how has been the relationship of your parents as a couple, your father with your mother, and vice versa. How has been that relationship? How do you appreciate? How do you remember that since you were a child up till now? Think about it. It's that simple. Just think about it. Try to recall, and any ideas that come to your mind, and this is very important. It's not enough when recalling that or remembering or try to describing that in your mind. You have to say it out loud, or better yet, write it down. Okay? You have to take it outside. Okay? It's useful if you just go for a walk and you put on your headphones and pretend that you listen to the music, and you just talk about your experience watching your parents' relationship. Okay? That is really important. That's really easy. That's all you have to do. Take it out. And it will be really good if you want to take it out speaking. Record yourself, record a voice note of yourself speaking, and then afterwards, maybe one day afterwards, 2 days after that, listen to your recording. Listen to yourself speaking that. If you prefer writing it, go ahead. Write it down. Take a couple days after that, and 48 hours after that, you check your notes and see what did you get out about that relationship of your father with your mother, and vice versa. What kind of troubles did they have? How do you can compare it to other couples, to the parents of your friends or your coworkers, of any other couple of parents that you know? How do they match or compare to them? That is the single most useful exercise that you can use to identify why are you falling into these toxic relationships. Okay, this is important, and if you can, and this is like the next step in case you need even more help. If you can ask your mom or your dad, or you remember about your grandparents from each side and their relationship, that is also helpful. We just imitate. That's what we do. We see behaviors, We see behaviors and we imitate them, especially as children. That's what we do. That's all that we do, and most of our behaviors are mimicking our parents' behaviors. That's it. That's really easy. I know this is simplistic. I know that if you're a psychologist and you're listening to me right now, you might be saying, and I totally agree with you, Jesus, it's not that simple as that. I understand that in psychology it's not as simple as that. But if you don't know how to get help, or don't have time to get help, or don't have the meanings or the means or the resources to get help, you can start by this simple exercise. It's not the whole picture, but it's a very good place to start. Just give it a chance, okay? So we were talking about toxic relationships, that we could fall from a toxic relationship into another and have a chain of toxic relationships and people that manipulate us. And at first, I'm gonna go back to the original topic. I thought 1 year ago that Meghan was controlling Harry in some way, or manipulating him in some way. And as time went by, I began to notice that there were so many patterns on Harry's behavior that this was more than just being the victim of that couple. And yes, I think I have a video, and I've had it with Harry. I don't know what is the title. I think it was like 5 months ago that I said, no, this cannot be like that. It's gonna be like this is the victim, that he's being manipulated like a puppet. I plead guilty of making memes of Meghan controlling Harry like a puppet. You can spot them in my Twitter. There's my Twitter in the scrolling text here. It's my Twitter and my Instagram. And I made memes of Meghan controlling Harry as a puppet, but so many behaviors of Harry that do not match that it's actually he doing the bad stuff because he actually means doing this bad stuff. Now, he trying to pose as the next American hero, I don't know, the next American icon, or an Englishman in New York. I tried to make sense of it, and it always looks like he's not doing this because he wants to, but it's someone forcing him to do so. Maybe it's Meghan, maybe it's their public relations agency, like saying, hey, you are not that popular in the UK, so you have to find your bearings elsewhere, in this case America, your new home. All right? But he doesn't look so sure about this. And of course, I don't understand. I try to make sense of what was Harry doing in Texas at the rodeo. What was he thinking? Because they are trying to be the avatars, the image, how do you say that? I don't know how to explain this. Yeah, they're trying to fit in some way into this narrative that he is a British prince that is coming to America. That is romantic enough in itself. I think it was this movie. It was about time traveling too. It was with Hugh Jackman. This movie that he was like, I don't know if he was an Englishman from the 1800s or 1900s, and he just jumped forward in time to our current time. I don't know about that movie, but it's always a romantic topic of a person that is coming from abroad, from another country in this case, and is trying to understand, make sense of what is around them. That is romantic. And for people in America, okay, Kate and Leopold, I know that this is why internet's so good. Kate and Leopold, yes, I remember this movie. I don't know the actress. I really don't remember, but yes, that movie was nice. It was a nice romantic comedy. It was worth the ticket price. It was with Meg Ryan. I really did not remember that was with Meg Ryan. I love Meg Ryan movies. I don't remember of a bad Meg Ryan movie. One can I really remember? It's a very good movie, extremely good movie. Was the one that she did with Tom Hanks. You've Got Mail. That movie is so magic. That's this newer. Yes, that movie is already a bit old. You've Got Mail is a new version of a very very old movie in Hollywood. A very very good topic. And I think I lost. No, I don't lost my bearings. They're trying to put this romantic that the fish out of water, trying to find this very, but he's not enjoying it. He's not enjoying it at all. It also reminds me of that. If you watch Wonder Woman 1984, when Trevor comes back. Now we're talking about Trevor's. When Trevor comes back, you see that Diana, Wonder Woman, is trying to like show him everything in the 80s, how everything works. Okay, that's a romantic concept. The showing the foreigner how it's done here. That is extremely romantic, extremely appealing. There's a trope in cinema and in movies. That's something that works all the time if done correctly. So I'm not surprised that they're trying to pull something like that. And it's interesting too when you have this feeling that this person wants to really integrate to this new culture, but that is not something that you're seeing in Harry's face. Like, doesn't he know how to smile more? Because we know that he knows how to smile, because all those pictures of the wild younger Harry when he was in Las Vegas, when he was in all these places with all his shenanigans, he was enjoying that time out his royal duties. Or he was not a working royal yet, but he was enjoying himself. He was enjoying life, and that's something that we like to see. Someone that enjoys his new life, because a new life should be exciting, should be brimming with possibilities, with new things to do, new places to know, people to meet. That is the way that is the life worth living, when you are just absolutely changing your perspective. That is basically the plot of Eat, Pray, Love. Okay, and I don't remember. I think I know the movie was with Julia Roberts, but the concept of absolutely changing what is around you is something that can effectively change you spiritually. That's something that we should strive for. But I don't think Julia Roberts had these expressions when she was doing all this stuff in India. I don't know which other country she went in that story. I know that the original book was a bit different, but yes. And that is important with the concept of tribes. There's always be this resistance when we try to enter a new tribe, and there's a different phenomenon depending on how that tribe feels threatened by this foreigner that is entering. A concept of tribe is very general. It's very very open, and all right. I think there was some. I'm sorry. There was some people doing some bad stuff in my comments. I'm really thankful for my moderators that have sharpened their knives and trying to with doing this. If you have to block people, just go ahead. I absolutely have no problem. If you came here to listen, okay. If you came here to comment, please keep it civil and in a good mood. If you came here to criticize and do whatever you want, no, you will be banned. Remember that. These are the rules of our life, because it's ours. So we were talking about tribes. Tribes is a very general concept. It's not only that you go to a different city or a different country, or it's also the race component is always present, but mainly because of the differences in culture. And it's also a fascinating topic, the man or the woman that has to adapt to a different culture or a different scenario. Calliope sent me a great video. I promised her that I wanted to. I need a few days. Calliope, I'm going to answer your amazing video. She sent me a great video, encouraging me to keep making videos. So it's a video to encourage me to keep making videos, and I'm really grateful for that, and really grateful for your super sticker. I will have a long answer for you. I hope to do it soon this weekend, because my days are sometimes frantic with, let's say, I'm a bit busy now. In fact, these lives help me have a bit of a brain rest, because producing recorded videos is very, very brain consuming, time consuming too, but lives helps my brain relax a bit, juggle these ideas, juggle in this case the idea of tribes. We were talking about tribes and talking about cultures, different cultures and different countries, and the concept of getting to a different culture is also very romantic and very exploited in cinema. Off the top of my head is Dances with Wolves. Kevin Costner, that became almost the quintessential, the white savior, trope. Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai, also the white savior. The concept of Avatar, the movie Avatar, is also the same concept. Pocahontas is also the same concept. When you Ferngully, the animated movie, is also the same concept. All these 5 movies and many others are the exact same concept. This foreigner that is initially and is invading, okay, this native people, and ends up being part of them, and in the end being the one that saves them. This is a lot of a stretch in there. It's a lot of a stretch in the narrative there, and it's a bit sad that this trope is, for some reason, we like to see it in the cinema, and we are drawn to this concept, and it has a bit to do with the fact that it's normal sometimes that we feel that an outsider is going to come to save us, okay? And this, sometimes we feel so sad, threatened, pushed, I don't know. We have this enormous weight over us that we will love someone out of the blue, and of course in this case an absolute foreigner, to come and save us. Okay, this is I'm not talking about cultures here. I'm not saying that this is the right thing to do, but sometimes we feel like that. We feel like, I wish someone lifted this weight out of my shoulders. And since everything that I see around me, my city, my neighbors, everything is like a conspiracy against me, if anyone can save me, it's going to be outside that circle. That's the concept. That is a very generic concept. I think I'm oversimplifying that concept here, but that's why we are drawn to that concept in itself. It's not good. It's not good in itself, that concept that a foreigner saving natives or saving a culture, okay? Because it's really silly when you think about it. It's absolutely silly and even insulting to the natives, to the people. But it is what it is. We are wired in some way, expecting help from outside. But in the end, there's us. We have to do the work. That's why I always say it over and over again. We are the protagonists. We are the most important person for ourselves, and the only ones that can help us is ourselves. That's it. But we can help. This is a romantic concept. This British prince coming to America and earning awards from the NAACP. Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense. But they're trying to play that card. They're trying to play the card of the savior. I'm not saying the white savior, but the external savior, the foreigner savior that is silly enough. And at the same time, it's like when you're watching it from the outside, you're trying to make sense of it. Okay, he's trying to adapt to American life, but it's not working. And people are not buying into it. And you wonder, this is a big, very important question. They are not doing this like at random. They are doing it for a reason. And I've always asked, why, if Meghan and Harry hire a public relations agency that usually manages or deals with really, really bad image crisis, why don't they like let them do their job? Because I don't understand how this works. How can someone like put your money in the hands of an agency that can do the work, and this agency has a nice record. They had the reputation, not for granted. They had their reputation because they have worked their assets to get that reputation out there. Then why do they make this kind of mistakes? Then I cannot help but think that it could be Meghan messing with that in some way or another. It looks like she's sending Harry to this kind of exhibitions, or trying to put his face out and see what happens. It's like, hey, you go there and see what happens. You go to the Super Bowl alone. You let yourself be seen at this in Texas at this rodeo, and let's see what happens, just to test the waters. And it's silly. I know that someone, I think it was according to TASS. According to TASS, TASS said, mentioned something very, very, very interesting, that Harry was in the same place that Joe Biden at the same time. Maybe this means something. This cannot be a coincidence. I don't see how a civilian, because Harry is a civilian alien, could get anywhere near the president of the United States, or what would that be useful for? We know that Meghan has a deep interest in U.S. politics. She wants to get into U.S. politics no matter what. She's trying to, I don't know which angle is the best to enter that. I should do a live on that topic, but I don't know. I think it's too much of a coincidence, but at the same time, why would he be showing himself with that absolutely not cowboy hat at a rodeo and get all this flack from how do you say that, PETA, this organization that apparently supports animals, defense animals. I don't know. There's so many organizations that have been heavily politicized lately. I don't know what to think, but PETA claimed that what are you doing there? You got these chickens, you got this chicken coop at home saving chickens, but at the same time you attend this rodeo and there are these pictures of him playing polo and badly injuring, well, not that badly, but effectively making his horse bleed with the these boots. With I don't know I don't remember the name of this boot where you pinch the horse so he can like go faster. The horse was bleeding. These pictures arise. I don't know how can a PR agency not foresee that this was going to happen. Anyone with the slightest common sense said absolutely not. Thank you, PETA. PETA. Yeah, thanks, Tracy. PETA. With an ounce of common sense. This will be sad. Biden possibly recognizes that the wife is bad for business. That will be sad. It will be really sad. Okay. Spurs. This is my private English class. I'm learning English with you. Spurs. Yes. Like the San Antonio Spurs, right? I'm remembering, and so many words that I have off the top and the tip of my tongue and I don't get them. Thanks you, Marine. And yes, it's almost as if M does it on purpose to age. It's like she's doing it on purpose. It's like she's getting him out there. But why? Why is that? This is the question. People tell me, why do you keep doing all this about the royals? They got boring a while ago. I don't think so. There's so many questions that haven't been answered. For example, what does William actually think of Harry? What does Harry think about William and Catherine? So many questions that are fascinating to try to make sense of, because our brain, our emotional intelligence is a muscle that we have to flex every now and then. We have to keep flexing it. It's important. I knew that there was this concept that I was missing. Royalty is political power, and that royal status. It doesn't matter if Harry or Meghan, for that matter, are not working royals anymore. Thanks, Chair. It doesn't matter that they are not working royals anymore, because there's a concept that is even more important. That Harry was born into British royalty. No matter what he does, no matter how many shenanigans, no matter how bad stuff he does, no matter how much he breaks his own reputation, no matter how silly, how stupid things he does, how ridiculous things he does, he will be a royal, and we will perceive, everybody will perceive him as a British royal. There's no way around this. There's no way that you can change that. That you cannot change that. It's impossible. It's a matter of perception. Harry is a British royal. He's a British prince. No way around that. He will have that badge, okay, up to the end. Even hundreds of years from now, he will have it. Maybe if he plays his cards well, maybe he will have better story than Wallis Simpson's husband. You know why I'm calling him like that. You know the story. You know, maybe I should do a video about that, the perception, how that man just left everyone and was left for by everyone and was truly sad. But this is perception, and this is something that he is not going to lose. He's not going to lose that. And that's why that romantic concept of the British prince coming to America, they're trying to play that card. They are trying to play that card. Possibly, it's the only idea that I can come up with, just to, in any way or another, make it seem that, well, he's trying to adapt, okay, to America's customs, Americans' culture in some way. Why? Because their future then that could only mean one thing. Their future will be in America. Yeah, I made a video that Harry must go back to the UK and one point or another sooner than later, and Meghan should be going with him and maybe staying with him at the UK. But you have to follow. You have to follow the general actions. They have actions like they should be going to the UK, actions that point to that, and actions that it seems that they want to stay in America, and so that Meghan can pursue a career as a politician in America. As absurd that might sound, yes, so she wants to run for office. That's something that you cannot say that it couldn't happen. Yes, it could happen, running for office. And I think that if I remember correctly, Donald Trump said many times that he wanted to run again just to face Meghan Markle. That will be really interesting. That will be, yeah, grab your popcorn. I absolutely be there. Yeah, Meghan is playing Meghan is playing a long game. I have my doubts, especially because her personality doesn't look like she's playing a long game. What does playing a long game mean? A long game would mean that she would have doubled down on any humanitarian efforts, on charities, on real service, just to build real reputation, not what she's been doing lately, not going to Ellen show, not making a fool of herself. That is not a long game. That's testing the waters. I understand that sometimes, and this is important, this is why I tell you that sometimes you have to take your feelings from the person away and take a deep look at why the person is doing this, and if that could work for you. Meghan could be testing the waters. Going to the Ellen show could be testing the waters. Let's see how this works. It didn't go well. Well, don't do it again. It's that simple. Let's test the waters with Harry making a fool of himself. Is that working? Well, depending on your goals. If your goals is to attract this kind of cheap attention, well, it is working. If your goal is a long-term goal, well, I don't think it will be the right way to do it. But the fact is that Meghan is testing the waters, and that, okay, pay attention to this, that is something that could be useful for us in some moments. Okay? Not because Meghan looks like she's doing things at random. It doesn't mean that there are moments in our life that could help, that could be very good if we just do certain things, test the waters, just to see how things go. This is really important. We might think that since if I don't like Meghan, I don't like her as a person, for anything else that as a person and her actions and her bending the truth, I don't like her. Not because I don't like her means that I cannot learn from her strategies or what she's doing, what's working for her, what's not working for her. It's a huge mistake of absolutely discarding everything that a person does just because you don't like them. Okay? That will be the exact same thing, the exact same mistake if you mimic everything that a person does just because you like them. You see that is a problem, right? You see that's why people fall into a cult. People fall into the trap of cult leaders, because these cult leaders make them do things, very bad things, abhorrent things, even if it's this dissonance inside people just because they like the cult leader. So you think now, maybe I really hope that you're not following a cult leader now, But you know that that will be bad, just mimicking bad behavior just because you like a person. Okay, if you like a celebrity or you like a musician, and this musician does something that goes against your values, you're gonna say, hey, this is where I draw the line. Okay, but that exact mindset you should apply on the other side of the coin with people that you do not like them. Do not discard every single behavior just for the sake that you don't like them. This is absolutely important. That you'll be amazed at how much can we learn from people that we don't like, just by stopping for a moment and say, what this person did, what were their intentions, and if this worked well for them. And I can tell you that at some point of our lives, we can sometimes test the waters to see if it's worth it going all in. It's really dangerous going all in something if we have better options, like, hey, let me try a bit, if I can get closer slowly, make a test, give it a try, and not go all in. If you want to achieve great things in life, you have to go all in. But if you have the option of testing the water first, like Meghan is doing, sending Harry to the lions, well, go ahead. That is a better option. You are trying to buy insurance again against failure. Failure is good for learning, but you don't want to fail when you put all your chips in that bet. Okay, so all of this is important. Okay, it's relevant. I don't want to sound like I'm forcing some kind of teaching. I'm trying to make you consider the idea, like move your mind a bit, but consider the idea that at some point you can learn something from a person that you don't like, that you despise, that maybe you hate. That's normal. Maybe you can hate people. You just cannot stand them. That is okay. That's recognizing your emotions, accepting your emotions, because this person somehow is going against your own values. Okay? I have a video on principles and values. I'm sorry that I didn't tag it. I didn't know that I was going to need it, but it's really important. Maybe you go to my channel, to the front page of my channel. I think you can see it in one of the playlists, but it's a video about values and principles. It doesn't have anything to do with the British Royals. It's a standalone video, just with an exercise on values and principles. I say it all the time. It's really important to define our own values and draw the line. These are the values that I'm going to live by. This is the values that I'm not going to negotiate. This is the values that are part of my life, my person, me as a person. Because people do not take the time to understand their own values, and that's why they end up following cult leaders, or they end up not being able to learn from people in certain situations. It's really useful, really useful. It's not because it's my video. You can go on Google and just search personal values, okay, and read about personal values. And there's a list about 100 personal values that you have to select your non-negotiable values. Okay. This will also help you with narcissists and manipulators, because you will understand, hey, this person is suggesting me to do things that I don't feel comfortable, but I don't know exactly why do I feel uncomfortable with this proposal. But if you knew your values and you know what do they come from inside you, then you will be better armed or better suited to dealing with this kind of proposals and people and situations. Like the famous saying, If you see everyone, if you see your friends jumping off a cliff, will you follow them? Well, the real sentence should be, if you see your friends or people, or a lot of people going against your values, are you going to follow them? That should be the right sentence. And Harry somehow, it's important to remember, if you have seen the video, if you already seen the video, you know the difference between values and principles. Harry has the face of someone that is going against his own values, his personal values. A person that goes against their own values cannot be happy. It's impossible. It's simply not possible. Maybe they will have short bursts of happiness every now and then, but they will not have, and you know how important it is for me, bliss. Bliss is part of the freedom of living by your own terms. But if you don't define what are your terms, what is the line you're drawing in the sand, what is your how is your personality, your persona crafted, what are the building blocks of you will fall for anything. And that's it. Sadly, we almost never have it directly at home. Or nurture most of the time will be flawed, and that's okay. Our parents most of the time, most probably, did not have the tools we have, like growing up, identifying all things, and they lived in a very different era, a very different time. So we have to at least think that they had limited resources and tools, and it's our job to find our own bearing. Of course, and this is something that doesn't help Harry at all. It doesn't help Harry the fact that he's constantly saying that he lived traumas, he lived under certain circumstances, etc. Because you should have at least look for some kind of help, especially if he was in so many mental health initiatives. This is absolutely, we cannot take his responsibility away from that. It was his responsibility. He was a grown man. He was more than 25 years old. That is an absolute limit for being irresponsible. 25 years old, especially in men, and so there's no way we can take that responsibility from him. He had that responsibility. He had the responsibility of setting his own values. I'm sure there must have been, if not people around him, but people that he met that maybe could have given him some insight on that. But sadly, it seems like he's behaving like a person that doesn't know, that still hasn't found what is his place in the world. And again, a place in the world is not a physical place. A place in the world is inside you. It's being able to track down your true self. Okay? This is very interesting. I used to think about building ourselves, about going up a mountain. Okay, you begin climbing the mountain step by step, like going up, rising, and developing yourself. That's why they called it personal development. You're developing yourself, and you imagine that you're going up a hill, right? But I remember a speech from Alan Watts, amazing philosopher. Alan Watts said that this approach is wrong. You cannot develop yourself. Okay, this is not something that you can do. I understand that this is a rather odd philosophical concept. You cannot develop yourself. But he says that the true search of yourself is not like climbing a mountain. It's like unearthing, or it's like going inside a cave or a mine, mining the real you, like getting the rocks and the dirt and everything that is not you and discovering. It's like being an archaeologist of yourself, because everything that you excel at, everything that is you, your values, your skills, your talent, everything is already inside you. It's not like you gain the talents. The talent is something that is inside you, and you just work them and find them and polish them and let them shine, like unearth them to show them to the world. I think this is a much better approach to understand that, because climbing up the hill, it's not that we are lazy or procrastinate or we don't want to climb the hill, but it's like that you are trying to reach another point or be another person. Try to find the next you. Maybe people don't want to be the next me, or I'm comfortable with being me. I just have troubles like understanding, making sense of people's behavior or my own behavior. And yes, that is right, because people haven't had time to find that's already inside them. This is what Alan Watts said. It's not climbing a mountain. It's like unearthing. It's like it's digging inside yourself. Okay, taking dirt, all that dirt, all those rocks that we have, like accumulated over years. Okay, trying to make a nice fit in society. And when you look at it, society absolutely doesn't care about you, and that's it's literal. The only one that can save you is yourself. Okay, and our duty is finding ourselves, and in the process trying to help other people find themselves too. If they need to first to breathe air, if we are drowning, we manage to not drown and get to a safe shore, it's our duty to use that energy to give that gift to other people. And that is one of the reasons I'm doing this for you, and I'm doing this here and sharing this for you, because I've been in very bad places, and the only reason that I managed to get out of those places is that I talk to people, try to help people, try to look help from people, read a ton of books looking for answers, and those books were written by people that made a lot of effort on writing those books and publishing them, and that's the only reason that I got them. And then I owe those people a lot, and my way of paying it forward is to trying to slim it down and absolutely make it oversimplifying here, to try to make sense of all these lessons, so to speak. You know that I don't like that word, but that is something that I try to pay it forward with that. And that's why ultimately I think people are telling me, some people are telling me that why do I make fun of Harry and his hat? I just saw a comment. I'm not helping him. I'm not helping his mental health. I cannot help him. And now I've made enough videos telling Harry and Meghan directly what they should do to stop doing this. And you know, if you're watching my videos, you know that every now and then you say, Meghan, you're doing things really, really the wrong way. You should do this, this, and this. And they don't listen. And I'm sure that they watch my videos, and or at the very least, they have people watching them. But no, there's absolutely not for that. There's no use. But it's not about helping them. It's I'm trying to help you through these examples, with the British royal family, through trying to make sense of them, having examples and having like some reference to say, hey, this is what you should do. And I understand. This is like it takes a lot of effort, I have to say. It's not like I'm trying to rub it into your face or something, but yes, producing content, producing videos all the time can be taxing. But it's also something that it's like a challenge that I've put myself to try to make videos daily and try to amuse you daily and make sure that in between jokes and gossip and whatever is happening with the British royal family, try to bring you closer to your truth, okay? And I'm talking like Meghan, my truth, your truth. That's the way Meghan talks. Scratch that. It's like getting you closer to the real you. Okay, there's always been with you since you were born. It's there. Everything you need is already inside you. It's exactly like Alan Watts say. You just have to unearth that. And you cannot unearth that without working, asking questions. And the best way to do it is try to help other people. Find ways of helping other people. It's absolutely counterintuitive. It's absolutely counterintuitive, but it works. If you want to help yourself, do not try to help yourself. Try to help other people. In helping other people, you will discover, you begin to unearth your own self. This works. I cannot tell you why, because I really don't grasp the reason why it works. The only thing that I guarantee 100% is that it works. You need help for yourself. Find someone that you can help. One person, just one. In the easiest way, most simple way, not complicated way, find someone that you can help. It's that easy. If you want to support me, if you want to support my channel, you know that subscribing is a great way. I have to thank you for all the loving body language buddies that have shared your super stickers. Thanks a lot. Thank you all. I try to not stop much. I'm sad that haven't stopped much with your comments. I've highlighted them, but I'm trying to. It's a bit hard for me still to have this train of thought in English flowing and not losing the idea. That is really easy for me sometimes to lose track of the idea that I'm talking about. I'm sorry not making the pauses to talk about your comments, but I'm really grateful about your super stickers and your super chats, and really grateful for your PayPal donations. You can find the link for PayPal in the description of this video if you want to support me making these videos, talking about those topics, making fun of our discount Indiana Jones in this case. Yes, why not? Discount Indiana Jones it is. And I'm sure I'm going to do that joke. I'm going to make that joke in another video because it will never get old. Our discount Indiana Jones. Why did he choose that hat? I don't understand. It's like it's like the combination of the hat and the face is magical. It's something that you cannot express. It's something that is perfect. The way that he nailed that bored, not impressed expression. It's like he watching the Super Bowl trophy. It's like, how does this work? Is this like rugby or something? It's all right. Yeah, discount Indiana Jones. A British cowboy. It should be a name for that. Ayeda is another one that is always, it has been since the start. I'm very grateful for her, for being here moderating the live. It's been a great job so far. Of course, Charissa too, always doing the hard stuff, blocking sugars here and there. I don't know. I know they like my videos. They couldn't possibly. How long would for how long would they be getting the R word card on me? Why? I am Latino, baby. You cannot put that on me. How? What was the name that I got called the other day? White Latino. That's something new. White Latino. That is great. It's great. Like I don't know how it works exactly. It will be interesting to do an would that be anthropology or what, sociology? I don't know what will be the science behind that, but it will be nice to make it make it a shot at it. But yes, it's interesting how can we so much content from that and how many intentions. We still don't know what is the Harkle's ultimate plan. It will be very interesting to make it, to understand, to make sense of it. But meanwhile, we have very good examples that can serve us to find these topics on psychology, and not in a how to say that, in a scientific way, and such a scientific way, but in an amusing way. I think that is what we should aim for. At first, I must say that I was really worried about the focus of my channel, and maybe you noticed that I made a few of those not royals videos with direct concepts, and I noticed that when I combined the British royals with this psychology, human behavior, body language topics, and a bit of humor, that combination was awesome. Not only in the sense that so many subscribers or views, but awesome in the sense that I noticed that you really pay attention to the content and care about the content, and I was really glad about that. And honestly, I didn't know that it could work. That was as Megan is trying to test the waters with Discount Indiana Jones. I was testing the waters, saying what could work. So, say we're doing something. Megan and I were doing something similar with vastly different results, but results nonetheless. And I think that that's something that I will be doing from now on. And these lives have been great to interact directly with you. And oh my god, I had to highlight this one. Crocodile Baldy. Crocodile Baldy, I have to write it down. I'm gonna forget that. I have to write it down. You know that YouTubers are we're always stealing ideas from. Thanks, Bonnie. Stealing ideas from everyone. If you want to start a YouTube channel, my greatest recommendation is watch other YouTube channels. Try to figure out what they're doing. Try to figure out what is working and what they're doing, and mimic them. Try to do it. I'm sure many of you have noticed, and I'm mentioning other times, that my intention or my inspiration for this style of my YouTube channel started with Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. I'll always be thankful for him. I still remember the first time I saw John Oliver for the first time and said, hey, this guy is amazing. And if you see the design of my videos, you'll see that it's almost the exact same design, the exact same template as Last Week Tonight. I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for that first inspiration, and I'm really happy of passing the torch to the people that tell me that my videos have helped them, that have worked for you, that have changed your life in some way. I received a couple emails today that were really moving, and I'm really pleased with the results of this, and really did not expect that combining gossip with Royals news, with psychology, and these human behavior concepts with just a bit of humor will have been this answer, this success, and especially focusing on the British royal family has been an amazing journey, and it is an amazing journey because it's gonna move on, and I'm really grateful for that. It's just in case you haven't downloaded it, there's my 100 body language tips in the description of this video. I guess that if you watch my videos often, you see that I always close my videos with that. If you haven't downloaded it, you can download it you will find it in the description of this video. And at the same time, you will be subscribed for any updates that I could send in by email. I don't want to complicate much my processes. I used to have a lot of social media channels, but it's especially for the sake of my mental health. I sometimes feel guilty not being able to answer all your awesome comments, write awesome emails, awesome comments in my YouTube videos, but there are too many. There's way too many, and people always ask me if I have assistants, and no, it's all me. If you get an answer from me, and on Instagram or on Twitter or email, that's me. I have absolutely no assistance, because I think even if I cannot answer them, when I answer them, I want people to make sure that it's me in the flesh that is typing on the other side of the screen. I think this is important. And again, I'm really, I feel sad sometimes that I cannot answer this barrage of love with all your comments, but sometimes I try to answer your inquiries or mention what you tell me in your emails in my videos. I make reference, of course, absolutely anonymous. You know that I never mention anyone or make direct reference to anyone, because I respect people's privacy. Maybe you don't want your name or your avatar or your Twitter handle permanently on a YouTube video. That is not something that maybe you want to that maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe I'm willing to have this catalog of videos with my face, my voice, my gestures, my ideas out there perpetually, and maybe that's not what you want to do. But yes, I always try to answer your emails and comments. And really, one thing is for sure: every email that you send me, I read it, each and every one. No matter you write me an email, rest assured that 100% I will read it. I will read it. Sooner or later, I will. That's my guarantee. The problem is answering them. So, few questions here. And yes, I wanted to be in every. Sometimes you can get anxious wanting to be in every social media channel. I have a TikTok. I like 50K followers on TikTok, but the problem is that the interaction is too difficult there, and I don't like the format much. And I started doing a few shorts here, but it's so small, the amount of information that you convey, that I think it's not worth it for a right connection. I like these lives, that I talk about a lot of topics for 1 hour and a half, and I keep talking for 30 minutes more just to juggle a few ideas more. And my recorded videos are great, so great for exploring topics in a very succinct way. But I think the shorts are too short to make a real impact with the ideas I want to share with you. And 1 minute, it will be too hard. I really do not think that I have the ability to just share with you an idea in 60 seconds and have an impact. I don't think I have that clout with you, and I certainly don't expect to have it anytime, because I prefer to just build my ideas in a way that I am not imposing them on you, or you don't feel like this is what it is and you should do like this. It's not like that. I try to build my case, so to speak, in a way that you can relate to my ideas, and you feel like it. If you feel like it, you put them, you practice them, you apply them to your life, and if things go well, and I know that they will, you will find them useful. I think that's the way it works. And I remember that as one of the suggestions that one of the suggestions that I got at the start of my YouTube career, so to speak, that no matter if you have 1 subscribers or 100 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers or 10,000 or 100,000 or 1 million, you have to make the exact same effort. And one of the things that I've seen studying human behavior patterns is why very successful YouTubers fail and just disappear. And it's this, and it's a very good lesson for anyone, not just not only if you want to start a YouTube channel, but for anyone. The moment that you make it about yourself, the moment that you make the channel about yourself, that's the way that it's going to go down. Right? You make it content. You make content for people, for your audience, for your buddies, for those that are on the other side of the camera. You make the content for them, not for you. You don't attract attention to yourself. I understand that at times it's good to share a personal experience, some part of your personal life. There's people that like that. There's people that try to manage that in some way. But I think you should be very careful in trying to always, any success you have, whether it's inside or outside of YouTube, try to remember that it's not about yourself. And that's one quote from Prince Philip. I remember I inserted that quote in one video. He said that to Catherine. Remember that it should never be about yourself. I think that was about those videos that Megan always looking at the camera, and looking at the camera is breaking that fourth wall and calling people's attention, because you cannot help but stare at Megan's eyes when he's staring at the camera. So you try to not make it about yourself, okay? There's so many things that can go wrong if you make the content about yourself and not about content or value for the people on the other side of the camera. And this is an analogy for everything in life. You want to success for you, help people. You want to help yourself, help people. If you want to become rich, help people. If you want to do anything in life, help people. Find what people need and get that for them. It's that easy. Okay. In fact, we can say that Don Corleone in El Padrino is that's That's his way of life. Find what people need, help them get it, and then ask them a favor in return. But it always works. It will always work. But provided you don't make it about yourself, and success can really, really fast get to your head really quickly. That you have to be very careful for that. I know it because I had my times, past times, okay, when I did very bad things, when I made very wrong decisions, I made every single mistake in the book, right? And one of those was thinking that everything was about me, right? I made that mistake. I can tell you that it doesn't end well, because it didn't end well, and it was a real mess. And maybe someday I will share a bit more of this, but I think that's enough. Just to make a short reference, because that's exactly why this is not about me. This is not even about Meghan and Harry. This is about you. In some way, try to remove your concept of yourself in a way that helps you lift one rock and uncover some part of yourself that you were not aware of. That you are stronger than you think. That you have more skills than you thought. That there's more courage in you than society pretends you to have. Because it doesn't matter what society says. It doesn't matter what your friends say sometimes. It doesn't matter what your enemy says, of course. And sometimes it doesn't even matter what your family says. Did you think that your family is not being fair with you? The only thing that matters is your gut, what your gut says, and what your common sense adjusts on that. It's not easy, but it's the only way. Try to deny this at your own peril. Doesn't end well. Realize that everything that you need is already within you, and set forth to find it. These are my final words for tonight. I'm really glad of sharing this space with you. I'm amazed that more than 1,000 of here. I imagine that 1,000 people in that huge hall, 1,000 of us in that hall. Maybe I will be at the stage, but being at the stage will be nothing if you're not there with me, and I'm not here with you. We're together in this, sharing this space. Really humbled, really happy. Absolutely hard to believe for me to almost 2 hours here, and 1,000 of you sharing this loving space together, all together here, learning. I am learning. I'm juggling ideas. Most probably I begin writing longhand after I finish live. It's important to offload or those ideas, or I will have a lot of trouble sleeping. If you have trouble sleeping, try to keep a notepad nearby. Keep a notepad nearby and try to offload whatever you're thinking, whatever is robbing your peace. Try to write it down. Or if you want to record a voice note for yourself. Okay, but get that out of your head in some way. It's a really good exercise for many things, and if you had trouble sleeping, go for it. It will help you. So yes, time has gone so quickly, and as usual, has been a real pleasure being here with you, and of course practicing my English. You know that it's a great issue for me to have this flowing train of thought and being able to talk like there's absolutely no stutter or anything. I will achieve that. I will be pushing to it every day, and I thank you for having the patience of listening to me test. And yes, You know that every help counts. If you want to support my channel, you already know the links in the description. Subscribe, and most important, if you know of someone that could find my content useful, just tell them and take a look at my videos. If you watch any of my shorter videos, maybe my lives or maybe my shorter videos, that you think that could be helpful for anyone, just tell them about it. Copy the link, send it to them. Hey, I think you might find this video interesting or useful, or however you want to call it. Okay, that will help me greatly and will help us greatly to become more and more bodies that help more and more people. That will be your way of paying it forward. If I'm helping you in any way, that will be your way of paying it forward to more people that might be lost and they not still don't know what are they really looking for, and what they're really looking for is themselves. Okay, so let's help us all. Thank you for being here, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and until we meet again and the wind takes us to a peaceful shore, much love and bliss. Have a good night.